Welcome to the Veterans Special Programs American National Network. This is spann. Welcome to the Veterans Special Programs American National Network. Our spann spotlight today is not going to be shining on a person, it's not going to be shining on an organization, but rather a place. And this is a place that creates memories, a place for adventure. When our military enter the service, they come home with stories, they come home with memories, they come home with adventure. When folks enter this place, they too come home with memories and adventure. This place happens to be America's roller coast. Sandusky, Ohio, the home of Cedar Point. Also the home of 5,000 seasonal employees and millions and millions and millions of visitors every year. Every visitor who comes with a story. When they leave, they come back with one more. Let's go inside, shall we, and find out what Cedar Point is all about. Okay, Brian, for the veterans, what does Cedar Point do to recognize military veterans?
Yeah, it's thanks to our military veterans that we get to do here, thanks to them. We couldn't have this awesome amusement park and all the freedoms we have if it wasn't for their sacrifices. So we want to offer them as much as we can. On Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July weekend, we offer all active, honorably discharged, and retired members of our armed forces free admission into Cedar Point. Again, just our way of saying thank you.
This is spann. Our spann spotlight today is shining on America's finest roller coaster capital of the world, Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. Cedar Point means a lot to a lot of people, which is why they come here, especially veterans.
Okay, I graduated in '63 with a degree in physics. I was commissioned a second lieutenant, from ROTC. I served 2 years active duty at Fort Eustis, Virginia as an instructor in the transportation school. And that's basically my military duty.
Tell us about your story of your service.
Well, I went to Great Lakes Naval Station in February and froze to death, and then I served 3.5 years aboard the USS Missouri during Desert Storm.
And your capacity during that?
I was a boiler technician, made the boat go through the water.
And your branch of service and the time you served?
United States Marine Corps, 98 to 02.
And what was your assignment?
I was motor T. MOS was 8531 or 3531 and 8531. I also was a PMI, taught Marines how to shoot, basically.
And you, where are you from?
Where am I from? Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay, you are visiting Cedar Point from someplace very far away.
Yeah, Japan. We live in Japan. We're stationed over there.
And you're stationed with your father, who is serving where?
Yokosuka.
Where's your father's station?
Yokosuka, Japan.
And as a veteran, what is his role and what is his branch of service?
He's in the Navy, and he's a warrant officer, O2, WO2.
And just promoted?
Yeah, actually very recently, yes.
V-spann, the Veterans Communications Network. Talk about the veterans who have touched your life.
Yeah, I have a very strong military background in my family. Not only my grandfathers on both sides, but my father was in Vietnam. So veterans are very much a part of my life, and really all of us here at Cedar Point. We've had several staff members over the years that have served, both active and in the reserves. And again, it really is. It's our way of saying thank you by offering this great ticket discount and those free admission times. Because again, it's honestly, without their sacrifice, without everything they've done for us, we couldn't do this. We couldn't have this great amusement park here and this great outlet for people in our country. So yeah, we're very proud of everything they've done for us, and again, it's just our small way of saying thank you.
Now, Cedar Point goes beyond summer. You look at having some fun in the fall.
Yeah, no, we have Cedar Point here, which is our world-renowned amusement park. It's been voted the best amusement park in the world for 16 years in a row. And again, great collection of rides, roller coasters, things for families. We have an awesome water park, Soak City, which is also open during the summer months, a beautiful mile-long beach. And then we extend our season. Cedar Point's open usually mid-May all the way through Labor Day, and then we're open weekends into the end of October. And then we have Castaway Bay, which is our year-round indoor water park. So really, we have fun 365 days a year here of some type here at Cedar Point.
And what happens in October?
Yeah, during our Halloween Weekends event in weekends in September and October, you have everything you come to enjoy at the park. The rides, the roller coasters, the shows, the attractions, but it takes a Halloween theme. We go through and decorate the entire park. We add 300 plus screamsters, and what a screamster is, it's a person who's decorated, costumed up, and their job after the sun goes down is to find you and scare you in this park. It's more of a startle scare. It's a fun scare, but yeah, we've had more than a half a dozen haunted houses, haunted walkthrough attractions, areas for the kids, trick or treat for the kids, special live shows. So yeah, again, if you can't make it out during the summer, a weekend in September and October during Halloween weekends is absolutely the best time to visit us here at Cedar Point.
And what is in store for 2015?
We've always got something up our sleeve. 2 years ago we debuted Gatekeeper, which was our huge record-breaking roller coaster. Over 2 million people rode Gatekeeper last summer, a huge success for us. This year we focus more on family attractions with 2 new family rides, but we definitely have something up our sleeve for next summer. I can't reveal those details yet, but I guarantee you, if you're a fan of Cedar Point, you're going to love what we do next summer.
V-spann, the Veterans Communications Network. What does Cedar Point mean to you?
Well, my wife and I started coming here in 1961 before we were married. We only missed 1 year, that was 64, which was in the middle of my Army duty. And, continued through all those years. My wife passed away. It'll be 6 years this September. And I wondered how it would be coming alone, after all those years with her. But actually, it's quite good. I almost find it therapeutic, really. The atmosphere in the park, and I ride the big rides. I ride Millennium Force and Top Thrill Dragster. There are a few rides I don't particularly care for because at my age, my neck won't take the, abrupt changes. But, basically I'm still a roller coaster fan.
And what do you think over the years you've been coming, Bill, of the changes in the rides?
Well, it's amazing because in '64, that was the first year that we had a roller coaster here, Blue Streak, and I saw the park before it had any roller coasters, and I've watched each coaster come, through the years. And the park back then was just a tiny fraction of what it is today. It's grown so much.
Many of the parks in Florida, in Central Florida, seem to get all of the attention. What would you say is the reason you need to come to Cedar Point?
The reason I need to come to Cedar Point, well, mainly because I have a good time. I have fun riding the rides. I like the atmosphere, and I'm a ride person rather than the theme park thing like Disney World and so on. But I come mainly for the rides, and there's an atmosphere, nice atmosphere.
To us about what is important to you about coming to Cedar Point with your family.
Riding the rides, enjoying my childhood. I grew up coming to Cedar Point, so I want to bring them back and let them enjoy it.
And what are the changes you remember the most from the time that you were a child to what you're experiencing now?
More high-tech rides, faster, more fun. That's about it.
How about your children? Talk about your children. Did they embrace roller coasters also, or did you have to get them into it a little by little?
They embraced it. Matter of fact, I'm here with the grandkids, and they're embracing them right now.
And what's your favorite Cedar Point ride?
I'd have to say Millennium Force, and then the dragster.
Of course. From your perspective in the military, do you think that all young people should have an opportunity to serve?
Oh yeah, I think it'll help them learn respect. That's the biggest thing I see now is kids that don't have respect for anything, including themselves. So yeah, I think they should.
How did the military help you mature?
Well, it helped me grow up and realize my dad wasn't a tyrant. He was just trying to raise me right and taught me respect, and it helped get me more organized. So yeah, it's a good thing.
spann, America's communication network for veterans.
Welcome home, man.
How many times have you visited Cedar Point?
This is my first time ever.
What brought you to Cedar Point?
Well, I've always wanted to come here as a kid since I was 8 or 9 years old, and I never was able to do it. So I'm 36 now, and I want to get my kids to have some time at Cedar Point. That's basically it.
And since this is America's roller coast, with the most roller coasters of any park in America, how are you going to start getting them involved in roller coasters? They're going to just jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're doing. We're finding every roller coaster right now. We just got here an hour ago, so we're trying to get as many roller coasters we can in before they start getting hungry, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's
With all the choices of amusement parks, why Cedar Point?
because it is the roller coaster capital of the world, and we're used to Kennywood and Pittsburgh. This is a lot better, believe me. So,
Serving in the military, what was the experience that you recount most?
In the military boot camp, basically. Boot camp, it was 3 months of hell is what we had to go through boot camp. I don't know if you could say that or not, but yeah, that's probably my biggest experience I encountered, and I will remember till the day I die, basically, is how tough the boot camp was and everything surrounding it.
Did you feel that you did any maturing in the military?
Absolutely. You learn a little bit of discipline. You learn a lot of things. You learn confidence in yourself. You know what I mean? Once you get through boot camp, you start. You become a leader. You become a leader. You learn how to lead troops and learn how to lead grown men that at 19 years old, 18 years old. So, absolutely.
Do you think, Ralph, that maybe our young society would be different if military was required?
Yes, I'm actually a corrections officer right now. I'm a prison guard, and I see a lot of guys that took the wrong route in life. I think if they would have went to the military, a lot of guys even in prison say if they had the option, if somebody could push them more a little bit in the military, they wouldn't have been in there. So yeah, absolutely. I think most guys come out of high school or should go right into the military. They can pick their branch, but learn a little bit of discipline, and it guides you in the right direction.
Perfect. And what brings you to Cedar Point?
Visiting our grandparents. They wanted to take us somewhere special. We haven't seen them in more than 3 years.
And is this your first time visiting Cedar Point?
Yes.
Yes. We've been gone for 3.5, 4 years. We're visiting our family here before we get stationed. We got our term extended over there, so we're going to be visiting family.
How long are you going to be here?
Another 4 or 5 weeks.
6 weeks more. We're going to stay here 7 weeks total.
And tell me what it is about Cedar Point that you like.
Roller coasters. Food.
Probably the what's it called, Blue Streak, I think. That's fun.
Now that's an older one.
Yeah.
It's
One here is 50 years old.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, your father serving in the Navy, has that inspired you to want to become a service man or woman?
It makes me want to marry someone in the Navy.
I don't know. Maybe.
And how old are you?
I'm 11.
I'm 12.
Okay, and what is your next adventure?
I think going to Imagination Station.
Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. We're staying here the whole time till it closes.
If you had a message for anybody serving in the military today, what would that be?
You're lucky you get to visit so many countries.
Thank you.
There will be a seat left open, a light left on, a favorite dinner waiting, a warm bed made. There will be walks to take, swings to push, and baths to give. On your block, at the school, in your church, because in your home, in our hearts, you've been missed. You've been needed. You've been cried for, prayed for. You've been the reason we push on. the battle is just knowing. This is half the battle. Because when you're home, we're more than a family. We are a nation that is whole again.
Our V-Span Spotlight spent some time shining on one of the finest amusement parks in the world, Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, home of the most roller coasters of any park in the world. And we heard some stories from some of our veterans about why Cedar Point was so important. And you've seen a lot of people walking around Cedar Point. Everybody comes to Cedar Point with a story. When they leave with another story and more memories. A lot of fun today with V-Span, the Veterans Special Programs American National Network. I'm Rich Rennick, and this is V-Span. V-Span, America's communication network for veterans. V-Span.